Walter Kempner is the most important scientist that's ever lived that you've never heard of. So he's the most important scientist that has ever lived, firstly, and you've never heard of him. Okay? So Walter Kempner was a German scientist who used diet therapy for 7 decades at Duke University in North Carolina in America. And that was a diet therapy based on white rice, fruit juice, and white table sugar. And he treated chronic diseases. And people came from miles around to be treated by Walter Kempner on the rice diet. Okay, the rice diet. And this is what I base my diet plans and my lifestyle on. So Walter Kempner cured 100% of cases of type 2 diabetes on a diet based on 94%. So I just rub that out. 94%. So that is of protein, fat, and sugar. Out of 100%, 94% of it was on sugar. He cured type 2 diabetes with white table sugar. Okay, let that sink into your brain. Okay, Walter Kempner treated over 18,000 people. He's the doctor that treated more people in person, face to face, or in person, than any other doctor that's ever lived. The only other doctor that's treated more people than Walter Kempner is Dr. John Mcdougall, because he also has an internet presence. But the doctor who's treated the most people and made them healthy, just like John Mcdougall, Dr. John Mcdougall, is Walter Kempner. From 1939, for 7 decades, before the pharmaceutical industry existed, and when people had no cure. And drugs do not cure chronic diseases, they just treat the symptoms. There's never been a single case of diabetes cured with a drug, with a diabetic drug. Okay. So, sugar does not cause diabetes. It reverses it. So go and look at Walter Kempner and stop being fat, sick and stupid and gullible. Okay. So here's another important case study or population study that you need to know to show that, genetics, it's my genetics that causes me to be diabetic. Well, this is just a population study that you need to know. So in North America, the Pima and the Tarahumara, I think that's how you pronounce them, these used to be adjacent populations, okay? So they were genetic cousins of each other. But after the Mexican-American War of 1848, Arizona and Mexico were separated. Okay, so this is world history and understanding of what's happened in the world. So the Pima, they moved into Arizona. So if you know the geography, go and look up the geography of America, Mexico, and the USA. So the Pima, they moved into Arizona, and the Tarahumara, they stayed in, I think it's Tarahumara, stayed in Mexico along the Sierra Madre Mountains. And the Pima and the Pima and the Tarahumara used to both eat very similar diets, okay? So they both used to eat high carbohydrate diet. So, however, the Pima now, they live on the standard American diet. They've been Americanized. And they now suffer terribly from chronic diseases. So they have a incredibly high level of diabetes, more so than the rest of the standard, the average of the rest of the USA. Essentially, they're getting fat and they're dying. Whereas the Tarahumara, who used to be, right next to each other, eating the same, living essentially the same lifestyle. The Tarahumara are world famous athletes, okay? So they're famous because people go and it draws people from all around the world. They're famous for doing these 100-mile runs where they run 100 miles or in a day, or 50 miles in a day, or 100 miles in a day, back to back to back. And their diet is mostly on corn, and they don't have diabetes. Okay? The standard American diet is killing the PEMA, and the high carbohydrate, low fat, low protein diet that they traditionally ate, which their genetic cousins, the Tarahumara, are eating. They're renowned for their health, their physical activity, and they don't have diabetes. So high fat animal diet, protein diet. I can't get the words out, it's so annoying to see this terrible health consequences. A high fat and high animal protein diet kills you, and the foods that we're meant to eat are carbohydrates, low protein, low fat. It's all there. If you make the connection rather than being fooled into just destroying your health. Okay, so look up Walter Kempner and the PEMA population in the USA and look what they look like. Anyway, let's go back to the video.